Hey, welcome back to my channel, and if it's your first time here, my name is Frances. I am a stay-at-home homeschooling mom of 4 boys, and I am the mom that's here to help you to thrive in your home and homeschool. So we are talking about curriculum, and the biggest thing that I want to say before we even start talking about building your own curriculum is that you need to know when you're going to plan. Do not try to plan in the thick of it. I would definitely advise for you to plan in advance so that you have enough time to add in all the things, and so you don't just have a dry DIY curriculum, right? You don't want dry. No dry. Also, before you start to plan, you need to know your subjects. So what are you going to teach? I would advise that you don't try to DIY all of your subjects the first time doing it. If your kids are in the younger grade though, there are a lot of easier sources to pull from. So that is possible if your child is like under 2nd, 3rd grade, it's easier to homeschool those ages and to find the sources to get the information from, and it not being that much money. Number one, knowing the goals that you want to have for each child or children in your homeschool. And what I mean by goals and setting goals, if you're not a person that tests, you could do your own oral assessments from the previous school year on things that they should have known. And you also could use the book Year by Year Learning or Everything You Need to Know to Homeschool. These are 2 books that can help you on that journey to really accessing what your child needs in a particular subject or all the subjects, and really digging in and knowing what goals you need to set for your upcoming school year so that you are prepared to meet the needs of those. And even if you are more of a homeschooler that likes to master what they learn, you can set it up for mastery. So like your multiplication tables and stuff that you really want your child to put into memory, you can set it up so that it's achieved by the end of your school year. So the second thing I would say is knowing your child's learning style. This is also important before you start building the curriculum, because if you don't know whether your child is kinesthetic or visual or auditory, or they can have, one can overpower the other, but they can learn in 2 different ways. It's nice when you do your curriculum to add in a variety of things so that your child is touching and seeing and hearing, so that they are getting it from all avenues, especially if they might be older sometimes and it's hard to kind of see exactly how they learn, but you should be able to see how your child really learns. Auditory learners, they video, hearing, you reading, they really absorb through those avenues. For kids that are more kinesthetic, they have to put their hands on everything. And even sometimes that might even mean like they might want to sit upside down. They might want to bounce on the ball. They might have to have something in their hand to fidget with while you are teaching them. And sometimes homeschool moms can feel that these kids are more challenging, but I think that these kids are the kids that help us to get out of our box and kind of teach us to de-school from the way we think we're supposed to learn, right? Right. So I actually like that my youngest one is like that, because he's really teaching me to like, I can still do this and still hear what you're saying and learn at the same time. And then you have visual. And visual kids, they are me. So my oldest is like me, so I know we need to have the Post-its and the color pens and the charts and writing it down and really being good at taking notes. So when they do go on, they know how to take things. Even when they read, I keep a commonplace book, because when I read, I need to be able to refer back to it, because that is what works for me. So meeting your child where they are and knowing how they learn is very important in the process of building your own curriculum. Number 3, know your homeschool style. There's Montessori, and there's a Waldorf, and there's Charlotte Mason, and there's traditional learning. And I won't go into explaining or talking about each of those, but there's classical, they're out there. But I think the biggest thing for someone who's starting is to really just be in a place of where you're learning your home, your homeschool, and then you can take the time each year to read up on like Charlotte Mason or things like that. I'm actually starting to do that because I now feel like I'm in a good place where I can still homeschool my kids and we're getting it done and all of that, but I really can lean in. I love the idea of read alouds, but I also love the hands-on. So for me right now, I'm just eclectic, right? This is a variety. I love the variety. So in that, know what you like. A bonus to this number 3 is know how you like to teach. Like if you don't want to stand up reading a book, actually teaching your child, then don't teach that way. If you like more one-on-one, then get stuff that helps you do that one-on-one time with your child. If you want to do everything all together, then get family style curriculum. And this side note to this is not about building your curriculum, but this is just referencing what you can do when you build your own curriculum. You can set it up to be family style, whether if you're going to teach history all together and you have a 3rd, 5th, and 7th grader, you just have to tier it up a little bit and your kids can get all the same information, but the older children can get a little bit more than the youngest one. Number 4, and this is important, you want to find a spine. There are some awesome book companies out there like Osborne and DK, the encyclopedias. They're always beautiful. I know you homeschool moms go down that Amazon has a sale and you done bought 6 encyclopedias and you know you're not about to use them. Raise your hands. Go ahead, raise them. Because I know you do it. Because I did it. I'm guilty. I'm raising my hand, y'all. So find yourself a good spine. For history is really good for like encyclopedias. Osborne, they do good like grammar books and just stuff that your kids need to know that you can use to create stuff out of it. Even in creating, you can use Canva. So to create things, and there's so many things online that are free. Do not forget to Google free, y'all, free. As my kids have gotten older, I've kind of moved away from free because I kind of want something that's going to really be laid out for me. So the spine that I'm using for this video, and I know some people probably say it's not a spine. So for this video, I'm going to show you how I'm setting up my 8th grader's history for this year. He is getting a rounded curriculum of world history and American history. So he'll be doing half the year and half the year. And in that, I chose to use the Everything You Need to Know to Homeschool for American history and world history, but I'm also using the DK history encyclopedia because I feel like that's a great source. That's what I need. And that is what I'm going to use. So number 5, not 10, y'all, 5. So number 5 to building your curriculum would be to make a scope and sequence. And in this scope and sequence, you're going to have main topics, you're going to have subtopics, and there are some books that you can use to help you with this. Year by Year Learning, Everything You Need to Know to Homeschool, What My Child Should Know in 5th grade or 6th grade, whatever grade your child's in. I believe that book goes up to 6th grade. And then you also can go to publishers' websites. There are so many scope and sequences online that are already laid out for you. So you don't have to do the work. Or you're taking your spine and you're following the table of contents and breaking it into however many weeks that you teach for the year. Or if you want to shorten it, if you're only going to do half a year history, if you're going to swap history and science every other week, then you'll have, a couple of weeks here and a couple of weeks there. You can do it however you want it, but don't think that when you're searching or making this scope and sequence that you need to start from scratch. And just a side note, Chat GPT can make you one in about 1 minute. So don't think at this point in homeschooling that you have to create it from scratch, because you do not. There are so many things out there. Like if you like a certain publisher, 9 times out of 10 on their website, you can go see the scope and sequence and you can build off of that. Number 6, and this is where, or what I say, once you get to curriculum, is where you add in the fluff. And what I mean by fluff is you add in on your topics or subtopics, you want to add in experiments, you want to add in read alouds, you want to add in solo reads that they read on their own, you want to add in hands-on projects, and these can be far and wide, whatever you want to do. You can give them Legos and bricks to build something from history. This is kind of why I started with history, because I really wanted to be able to allow my 8th grader to really enjoy his art, because he likes to do art. So he's doing a lot of spreads for art this year, or using Minecraft to build a scene from it, and then having to report back to me and say, you know what, you need to retell the story. You can use Minecraft to do it, or you can use clay figures, or whatever you want to do, poster boards, just so that he is able to create in a way that works for him. Now, if my child was more visual, yeah, they can do PowerPoints. That gets them into working on computer stuff, an actual poster board. Hit up Hobby Lobby. Homeschool moms, you know we like to go to Hobby Lobby, so we might as well just go on ahead to Hobby Lobby. We'll shop while they shopping, right? Anyway, and then the things that they might not want to do. At the end of it, you can add a history report. I want you to do a report on what one event or war in history, and I want you to write me up a report as like a final grade or a final project. I'm definitely doing that this year, because history for me, I feel like it's hard for you to say, oh, let me give you a test to make sure you know this information, and everybody can memorize the history facts. But I think for me, it's the retelling and knowing that you really got the history that sits well with me as a homeschool mom, and knowing that, wow, you really got that. So don't be afraid to add the fluff, and like it could be whatever you want. The Play-Doh, like pull it all out, get creative, even let your child decide, because sometimes we don't do that and we're like, oh, I cut out all these sheets of paper, and then when you sit down at the desk, your child's like, I don't want to do this. Did you ask them? Yeah, sometimes they really don't want to put stuff together. Some kids, they just want to read a book and they can tell you everything they learned in the book. That's amazing. So in all of this, and adding the fluff goes back to knowing your child's learning style. So that is really it to building a homeschool curriculum. I am going to turn the video around now. Okay, so these are the books that I am using. This is the world history. As you know, the American history is the same. So this, I basically took the inside of these and turned them into units. They're kind of already in units, so you can use it like that. Some of the stuff I didn't do in the earlier book, but basically I just picked the topic, let him read on it, and then I go into the encyclopedia and just source it. This is another source for him to get his information from. So here it is. You have schedule, you have text. This is where I put the books that I'm using. You have topics. These are the topics, books, and extra resources, which the encyclopedia is my extra. And then I have assignments. So this is how I lay it out. I hope that you're getting a good picture of that. So yeah, this is what it kind of looks like. It goes on and on and on, and I just pick things out. So he's doing Grease next, and so what I do is I pick out a book for him to read along with what he reads inside this book, and then this is extra information. And basically he's taking that information and he's notebooking that. So let me show you what his notebook looks like. So this is one that he is recently working on. So he's just adding pictures and putting the information in there, incorporating a bunch of things, but still getting it done. He does this in the Schoolnest notebook. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. And if you don't want to miss more, hit that subscribe and I will see you in my next video. Bye. So, the first thing that you want to consider, knowing your kids. That is really it to building a homeschool curriculum. So because